25 years?
No.
Why so long?
Well, when I was heading for 50, I decided that I wanted to write novels. And I knew I'd never do it if I went on writing cookbooks. So I just stopped.
But you also said, words to the effect of, that you felt at the time, because cookery was moving on, almost surplus to requirement.
Well, I did, because I felt quite stale, really, because food was very classic then, and it was based on French cooking, and I sort of felt I'd done 12 cookbooks. I felt I'd said it all, but there were younger people coming up who I thought were great, and I thought, I don't need nobody needs another cookbook. So in fact, I remember talking to wonderful Clement Freud, and he said, "Oh, not another bloody cookbook."
Really?
Meaning, he said it all the time, because there were just lots of cookbooks. They're all saying the same thing.
So what's this one saying?
Well, what's happened in 25 years is just so great in food. It's, food is much more, there's better ingredients, people are eating completely differently, they're sharing stuff more, it's more informal, food has to be cooked much quicker, and it's just much more open and easy.
Well, social media has sort of really moved things ahead. I mean,
fantastic.
I follow lots of cooking. I mean, I'm obsessed with watching them, and you get them instantly, you see them, they're updated.
I know.
People are quite experimental with food.
And they stimulate each other.
Yeah.
And also, I think one of the things that's made me want to jump in is because the bakers on Bake Off are so inventive.
Yeah.
And, I kept finding I was stealing their recipes or wanting to cook things that they'd done. And, of course, the Great British Menu was, I was sort of very in touch with chefs. And so although I'd said I'll never write another recipe, I began to want to. And then when I realised with Bake Off that there was a whole new audience there who had never heard of Prue Leith, because I was that old girl who was doing things, 25 years ago, so they wouldn't even know me. And I just couldn't resist it. I thought, well...
Well, we're very glad you did.
So does that mean then that cooking now is more exciting than it was then?
Yes, definitely. I think so. It's just so much more open, and there aren't a whole heap of rules. I remember years ago going on a radio programme with a great old chef, and he said very indignantly when I said that I wanted to put the ham and the stuffing into the turkey and make it into one great thing, and he said, "You can't do that. Escoffier did not do that." And there was a feeling that, you had to stick to the classics.
the rules.
Yeah. And of course, when I started to have a cookery school, we were breaking rules a lot because we were in touch with new chefs and so on. But really, I wanted to write novels, and so I thought I'll stop. And then, of course, I gave up that resolution.
Well, these
and
are
I'm
all
back
quite
to
easy,
cookbooks.
aren't they, in here?
Yeah, they're
It's
pretty easy.
quick. Nice,
Most of them are very easy. And they are recipes I've loved. Some of them are from ever. I mean, there's a pie up there, I think, for you to taste.
We've had the Normandy pie. It was
the Normandy
lovely.
tart.
Yeah, well, now I've been making that for 60 years.
Oh,
it's
really?
an absolute classic. So there are classic things, as long as they're easy to do and easy to explain.
Yeah.
And of course, that used to be a very complicated recipe because you did it all by hand. Now you shove the whole lot in a machine and you make the pastry, you make the filling, and then you chop up the apple, and it's
and that's it done.
It's really
Well, you also
easy.
make a polenta cake, and actually Phil cannot bear polenta. He thinks it should be packaging.
So I wish you'd done that for me.
We think you might have found the acceptable face.
It sounds like
polenta.
it could be the acceptable face of polenta, which I think should just be used for packing.
Oh, no. I used not to like polenta, but soft polenta the trick is a ton of cheese. Put a lot of cheese into polenta when it's hot. And good seasoning or spices or something.
Tempted?
Polenta by itself, I agree, is
You're
pretty
going to need
boring.
to make it for me.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, you must do. Next time, that's your challenge. Obviously, we are loving Bake Off. You all appear to be having such a good time, and there is a real friendship between you all, actually.
I gabble on, but he never wastes a word, and he's just so professional. And Sandy and Noel are exactly off stage as they are on stage. They're just very funny all the time.
You've got a WhatsApp group, haven't you?
We have.
Have you?
Yeah.
And
Gang of four.
Gang of four.
It was a private one. I hasten.
Oh, don't worry, women ask you to share it.
Absolutely. But as proof that you are all very close, did you all go round to Sandy's for Christmas?
We did, and we're going to do it again. She made the mistake of offering to let us do it again. And instead of all of us saying, oh, no, it's our turn, we said, yes, please, Sandy, we'll come.
So who cooked?
I was going to say,
She
that's
does.
very brave.
She's a very good cook.
She must be.
That's
Yeah,
big pressure, though, in cooking in front of all of you.
No,
guys,
she's not fazed by it at all. And we had a fantastic duck. She says I moved in and made the gravy, which I did.
Did you?
Anyway.
Oh, well, that's it. That's a brave lady.
But your family's really multicultural anyway, isn't it? So you've got influences from all over the place.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That you know, England or Britain is so multicultural now. And I was thinking, it hadn't even occurred to me, but I was thinking about how I love Cambodian and Far Eastern food, and I like Indian food and so on. And I thought, well, it's not surprising. My daughter is Cambodian. My husband's daughter is marrying a Sikh. And what else? We've got I'm about to write another cookbook with my niece, and she is married to a guy. He looks like a Rastafarian, but he's of Ghanaian extraction.
Right.
So he loves a bit of spice.